WQAD News 8, this is WQAD This Week.
Good morning. It's Sunday, April 16th. Thank you for joining us for News 8 This Week. I'm John Diaz. April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month, and according to the CDC, sexual violence affects millions of people each year in the U.S. Half of women and 1 in 3 men will experience sexual violence that involves physical contact during their lifetime. This week, we sat down with state leaders in Iowa to discuss why they say it's a problem that's not going away, what it'll take to address it, and the resources available for victims. And joining us now is Iowa Secretary of State Paul Pate and the Sheriff of Marion County, Jason Sandholt. Gentlemen, thanks so much for taking the time to chat with us this week.
Thanks for having us.
Appreciate it.
Secretary Pate, I want to start with you. In our business, we get a sense that when we talk about sexual assault, this affects a lot of people, whether it's folks who are directly impacted, victims of a crime, or just friends and family members. Can you give us a sense of what you're seeing across the 99 counties in Iowa?
Well, I wish I could tell you that it's going away, but it's not. In fact, nationally, 81% of women and 43% of men report experiencing some form of sexual harassment or sexual assault in their lifetime. So clearly, this is going to impact everybody, either directly or indirectly. In Iowa, we've seen statistics still growing, and it's the positive, if there is one at all, is that the victims are feeling a little better about coming forward and reporting it, because that's been a battle. It's tough enough to be attacked in this format. To have to go forward and tell people about it, sometimes several times, is not easy. So we really feel that what we can do to help them by letting them know they have friends and resources is part of what we're doing with this Awareness Month.
And Sheriff, before we get too far, I want to define what we're talking about a little bit. Can you give us a sense what sexual assault is, and are there things that would be considered sexual assault that maybe people don't immediately think about, because there's sort of the obvious ones, but maybe there's.
Well, obviously, anytime even when you watch TV shows or different things, the date rape aspect and the sexual assault and forcing themselves upon somebody. But we have a lot of, in the Code of Iowa, I mean, it talks a lot about the abuse, incest, the exploitation by counselors or different things. There's a lot of things that fall under the code section in regards to it. And we're seeing even today more and more with the social media side of it, where you have people trying to groom juveniles and then end up meeting them up later for, sexual acts and different things. So there's a wide range that we're trying to bring awareness to. It's not one specific thing. It's just knowing, that there's a lot of sexual predators, and it's the easiest way to say it, out there, and people need to be aware. And if you feel that you've been a victim or experienced something like that, there are resources available. That's our number one thing. Sometimes people don't feel comfortable talking to law enforcement, but whether it be victim advocates, whether it be SANE nurses at the local emergency room, there's multiple different, there's 1-800 hotlines that we're going to talk about. People can reach out, and we want them to, if there's ever a question that they feel like they have been victimized, we want them to reach out.
Can you guys talk about those resources? There's probably more than we have time to necessarily go through one by one, but certainly there's a lot of state resources in particular that give folks confidence in being able to come forward in a safe manner.
I recommend they go to the Iowa Victims Call Center. It's kind of a one call will get you on the path to where you need to go. And that number is 800-770-1650. And these are the experts. These are the people who are going to put you in contact with the advocates or the counselors that can put you someone local that can assist you with what you need to do. I said between that and working with the medical professionals to making sure you're getting the treatment you need for what you've gone through, and quite candidly, help preserve some of the investigation things that they might need to pursue a prosecution for the offender. And I want to underscore safety first. If people are being attacked in some way or another, they need to be safe first. So that's the first step. And then what I'm offering out as other suggestions would be the next steps. these advocates will line you up, and there's programs, many programs. One of them is the one my office does, the Safe at Home program, which is provides the survivors with a legal substitute address for mail forwarding. It's a way to assure them that the bad actors can't just find them again so easily. That's a program we put up, and we have 41 other states who do something similar. So if you, like in the Illinois side, they could have some of the same type of opportunities. These are things that are there. And there's many other programs. There are those who will help them, counsel them through the trauma. There are those who will help them with some of the other medical challenges, perhaps. But there are friends out there, and that's what this Awareness Month is about, is letting them know they have some friends and supporters.
And I think to add on to that, even on those local levels, the victim advocates that are available. And a lot of times people think, when this happens and they think of the criminal side of it, there are advocates and people that will help work them through work with them through the process and be there with them. It's something that they have to face alone. There are resources, and whether it be through the county attorney's offices, law enforcement, different areas, that we don't want somebody to feel like, hey, this is a long, lonely battle that I'm going forward with. We want to be there step by step with them.
And Sheriff, can you talk about just, the goal I imagine any crime is always to get it down to zero. Perhaps that's not the first immediate thing that will happen, but reducing it is possible. What do you think can reduce crimes like this?
Well, multiple education side of this is a number one way to do it. But then obviously the hardcore sheriff, I am holding people accountable. I mean, when these, vicious acts happen, prosecuting them to the full extent of the law and seeing it through the judicial system where they're held accountable for those actions. That is one of those main ways that you reduce it is, and especially for the recidivism side of it, for it to ever happen again, hold them accountable the first time. And obviously people have to kind of look at it. It's like, if this happened to my daughter or my granddaughter or wife or individual, whatever it is, holding those individuals that did the act accountable is very, very important.
All right, gentlemen, thank you so much for taking the time. Obviously an important topic, always to be aware of, not just in April, but I'm glad we're talking about it for now. Thanks again for taking the time.
Thank you for spreading the word and encouraging people to reach out. Thank you.
Appreciate it.